You want to find out where they're building strong kids, strong families, and strong communities every day? We'll tell you all about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Florence Family YMCA. We're visiting with its Executive Director, Jerry Dixon. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Great.
Thanks for hosting us all week.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Very excited to get you and Brian in this morning. Thank you all week to see all the programs, activities going on here at the Florence Family YMCA.
It's great. It is amazing. A lot of people, I know we took you on that tour, but there's a lot of people that haven't seen the Y since our renovations, and it's added 32,000 square feet to our building, and we're very proud of it. And the board of directors really did a great job in lining that up. So we encourage everybody to come out here in Florence to take a look at our facility.
Now, you get folks from all over the PD traveling to this location, don't you?
We do. It's amazing. Most of them do come from the Florence area, but a lot of them do travel in because they work outside of Florence or live outside Florence and work in Florence, and they'll come by and work out at the Y. And we're glad to have them.
Absolutely. Are there other Ys? Where would be some of the other Ys throughout the PD?
Well, there's some in Myrtle Beach. There are in Hartsville and Sumter. There's some in Beaufort, in Columbia area. So there's Ys pretty much scattered throughout the area of South Carolina.
So for Marion and Dillon counties and Marlborough County, the closest YMCA for them would really be the Florence Family YMCA.
Right, or Hartsville, one of those.
Or Hartsville,
two.
sure.
Right.
That's amazing. Well, it's so exciting to see, and I'm so glad you mentioned the tour. You'd let Loretta, the producer, and I walk around with you earlier this morning. It's just an amazing facility. You said 32,000 square foot addition.
Exactly. We're up to about 85,000 now.
When was that completed?
It was completed about 2.5 years ago, and we had the grand opening, and I mean, it's just been well received by the community. And our main focus is on families, and that's our largest membership base. And they have a lot here to do for kids and adults. So we're really proud of it, and the community as well has been very much involved in helping us to continue to grow since we opened the new addition.
And is family wrapped into the names of most of the community YMCAs? For instance, the Grand Strand Family YMCA, the Florence Family YMCA. Has it always been that way, or is that? I mean, obviously the focus has always been on the family.
Sure, I think most Ys are going that way. They may name change. Some of them are named after a donor. But here, back in the early 70s and late 60s, that's what the board of directors wanted to do here and call it the Florence Family YMCA. And that's been our emphasis. And it's, like I said, our largest membership base is families.
Okay. Jerry, for viewers who may not be members here at the Y, who may not have come in and found out a little bit about you, can you share with us a little bit about yourself? Are you originally from the area?
No, I'm not. I was born in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, but I grew up in the Orlando area and started my Y career there. And have been involved with the Y in Orlando and throughout Florida, in Nashville, and in Augusta, Georgia, and then here about September 2 years ago is when I started here at the Florence YMCA.
You're about to celebrate your 2-year anniversary.
That's right, exactly.
What brought you here? What brought you to this Florence YMCA?
I think just the opportunities. I saw a great growing Y. I saw a strong board that was committed to the Y and its mission, and I think they needed someone's expertise in the development of the membership and to do outreach into the community, and that was one challenge I really took up, and I wanted to come over here and share that with them.
Jerry, it's rare for someone to start at a Y or start at any organization as the executive director. You must not have started as the executive director when you first got in. What was your first position?
First position was actually when I was in college. I worked for the Y part-time, coaching little kids. I think I tell everybody now when they complain about their salary, I said I made $70 a month coaching kids. But started as a youth program director, working with teenagers and kids in tackle football and soccer and basketball and so forth, and kind of worked up through the chain and made some moves to other Ys, gained some more expertise, got training through the Y, and was fortunate to become CEO in Augusta and also here in Florence.
What do you think it is about the organization that's prompted you to make it a career?
I think it's the mission is how we touch people's lives and have the impact. It's a lot of people think of the Y back as just the place for men to come and swim and exercise, and it's grown so much more than that, including kids and the families and so forth. And think the Y makes a great impact on the community through the programs we offer, through healthy lifestyles, through providing financial aid scholarship for those who can't afford it, do an outreach program, whether it's in Lake City with the housing sub out there, and also doing some things with kids in our activity therapy program. I mean, it's a great addition to a community and adding to the quality of life of the community is having YMCA.
I'm glad you mentioned, Jerry, the Y's purpose. Can you share with the viewers a little bit about when the Y was founded and what its original purpose was?
Well, the Y was originally founded in London, England, and by George Williams, who was knighted and became Sir George Williams in 1844, when he started it. And it was a place for kids to go, young men, to read Bible and to kind of have a support group and get away from the vices of the street. And it then moved overseas, and I think it first went to Canada and then started in Boston in 1851, and started by a retired sea captain then. And from there it spread across the country, came down the eastern seaboard, and then started going west as the country grew. So the wives were there throughout that whole time. And it's kind of exciting how they participated in stuff for the country. During the Civil War, they were very much involved in working with prisoners of war and so forth, and also with dealing with all kinds of different things throughout all the world wars.
That is fascinating.
It is exciting.
It is amazing to think, and that ties in so well to the next question about some of the international organizations that have sprung from the Y. There are a heck of a lot. I was blown away visiting the website last night.
And rereading the history sometimes, you get that when you first come in the Y, and then you reread it, and you become even more proud of Boy Scouts started at the Y, Toastmasters started at the Y, the USO started at the Y during the war. The Campfire Girls started at the Y. And obviously they started some international sports such as basketball and racquetball. So it's really neat. The Y has been a kind of incubator and allowed things to grow, and then they a lot of times have stepped out and done their own, and Y is proud of that.
Jerry used the word obviously. I mean, obviously basketball, obviously volleyball. I mean, think about the significance of that. You think about Michael Jordan.
Sure.
This guy would be sitting in Wilmington doing who knows what now, as opposed to being a world superstar without the advent of basketball. And the YMCA is the reason for that.
And started, Dr. Naismith started it because it gives guys an activity to do inside in the cold weather. And he came up with peach baskets and a ball. And obviously the rules have changed, but he was a creative mind and said that the Y be the place to do that. And he said, we got to do something with these kids inside, and that's how it started.
I was reading a magazine last night that a gentleman had just given his wife a $4 million diamond ring as a little present, an NBA star, and I thought, my God, the NBA ought to be chipping in that $4 million to the Y every year. I mean, this is incredible.
Well, there's a lot of support out there all across the country. You hear every Y is locally autonomous, and their support comes from the local communities. And you hear all these great stories about whether it's a football player or a basketball player, somebody who rallies around the Y and what they do, and it gives back to the Y for what they were able to do for them in the community.
Jerry, share with the viewers a little bit about the Ys throughout the world. Are they all tied through the same organization, the one that Sir George Williams set up in 1844 in London? Is it the same organization as the one in the Florence Family YMCA?
Well, we're part of the national YMCA of the USA, which is based out of Chicago. And then there's an international council of YMCAs, which encompasses not only the YMCA of the USA, but also YMCAs throughout the world. And whether it's in London, Australia, in Asia somewhere, there's Ys internationally. And they have the same kind of mission as the Y does here, is building stronger kids and stronger families and stronger communities.
When we think about it, I know you shared with us a little bit about the purpose, and the purpose back in 1844, and the purpose that really inspired you to stay active with the Y. Is there a creed? Is there a creed that viewers may have heard before, whether they were involved in the Y growing up? Is there something that they'd heard at an early age? And how does that focus on its transition, focus on the transfer from the male membership into now a more recognized cross membership?
Well, the national mission, and we have adopted it here locally, is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy spirit, mind, and body. And also the tagline to that is to build strong kids, strong families, and a strong community. So every Y, like I said, is locally autonomous. So they try to find out through needs assessments, working with the United Ways, and working with local business people and their board of directors, find out what those needs are, and then try to make that fit. And like I said, I think people have rallied around what the YMCA's do in their communities to help them out.
How about this Florence Family YMCA? How did it get its start, Jerry?
Well, this was originally a railroad Y. It was a big hub here, and a lot of railroad workers would come through on their way to different locations back in the early 1900s. So the Y first established itself here in Florence in 1912 as the Florence YMCA Railroad Y, and had its roots that way, and had a beautiful center from looking at some archives where the kids would come in, boys and railroad people. They'd have residences, they had basketball courts and so forth. And then they went from there into the early 60s. The railroads were obviously had competition out there. They started cutting back, the airlines and so forth. And so in the 60s, the YMCA was away from that facility and started on Cherokee. And then in the early 70s, got this property and built where we're at now. And we've made renovations since the early 70s until our most recent one in 2000, actually April 2000, where we have the new addition and so forth.
32,000 square feet.
Exactly.
It is amazing. It is amazing. Of course, now the gymnasium, the two main big basketball courts there, were those part of the former, or have those been an add-on?
Those are part of the original building. And kids, I remember, actually I shouldn't say kids, when they were kids, board members that can tell stories of when they came here and played basketball on Friday nights or had sleepovers here when they were kids back 25, 30 years ago, and still remember the Y and have fond memories. And I think that's why they decided to help the Y out and become board members and help us as we further our mission.
Share with the viewers a little bit about some of your, we've just got a couple of minutes, but some of your duties as Executive Director, CEO of the Florence Family YMCA.
Well, like I said, I get called different things. It depends on who's making the phone call. But I think a lot of times it's staff development, working with the board of directors, fundraising, and trying to tell the story. A lot of storytelling in the community about the Y. Again, a lot of people have the feeling that the Y is just a gym and swim type thing, but we're so much more than that. And so every opportunity I have to talk to civic clubs and so forth, I try to take that opportunity to tell the story about the YMCA here in Florence.
And it is a great story, and some of the biggest storytellers are your board of directors.
Exactly.
What's the function of the board of directors, and how are these members selected?
Well, the board members are selected through a nominating committee and of the board to continue, bring new members on. And we are fortunate to have a great group of board here at the Florence Family YMCA. The volunteer board members are actually the power base of the Y. It's a volunteer-led organization. So they are the ones who make decisions and approve decisions on doing renovations and borrowing the money and what direction we're going to have from a strategic planning process. So the Y that's our, I think, our biggest thing. I may move on at some point in time, but the Y will continue to grow and get stronger because of the volunteers that lead the organization.
And there are a heck of a lot of volunteers.
Exactly.
Throughout.
Exactly.
And obviously Brian will talk about this in a minute, but could you just share real quick about deciding on some of the programs that are offered by the Y?
Well, again, some of it is history. I mean, the Y is, again, locally autonomous, so what we do here may be different from what they do in Chicago or New York, but there may be some similarities. But we felt some of our niches, obviously, is in youth sports and aquatics with the pools, and fitness is a component, and our after-school child care was a need that the community said. And there's some other ones that we do, and some of them are on our own, and some of them are collaborations, with the school system or with another organization of the United Way. And we're saying we don't have to do it ourselves. If there's a need out there and two organizations coming together can meet that need, then that's where we go. We don't need to have ego stop us. We'll go after it and try to meet the need without, with the help of whoever wants to do it.
That's a great point, Jerry, and that ties in well with coordinating with other programs, other agencies. That happens pretty regularly locally.
Right. I think everybody realizes that some problems are bigger than one agency can do, and they're not going to go away. So what we try to do is, through the United Way, especially in other agencies, is what needs are being identified, how can we pool our resources, and all kind of raise our flags up the flagpole saying we're doing this, we're trying to make this a better community and do it together.
Jerry Dixon, what do you like best about being a part of the Florence Family YMCA and the YMCA family as a whole?
I think the biggest thing in my life is the impact I've seen on kids and see them carried through. I've seen some teens who have been in trouble who've come to the Y and have changed their lives around. I've seen adults that have come through hard times in their own personal lives, and the Ys help change them. And also the financial aid we give to people who have had whatever, bad experiences with jobs or whatever, and they've lost their positions and could have been really depressed. But the Y, by telling them not to do that, don't pay the dues right now, we're freezing your dues. Come back and stay with us and work out while you're in this time. It's really, I think, in some cases, really saved their lives, and I've seen that happen.
Changing lives, strengthening the family. Key words for the Florence Family YMCA and for the man who serves the position as Executive Director. Jerry Dixon, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for hosting us all week. Stay tuned to Brian New coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Florence Family YMCA, and we're visiting with Brian New, its Associate Director. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How you doing?
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
No problem.
Incredible opportunity to highlight, and all week long the Florence Family YMCA. Obviously, Jerry did a great job summarizing so many of the activities going on, but knew that there were some other activities that he didn't highlight that you'd be able to fill us in on. Real quick about yourself, Brian. Are you originally from the area?
I'm not. I moved down from Vermont with my family when I was in high school back in '79. I've been down here ever since. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Married a local.
You've been in the PDs in '79.
That's correct.
Is that right? Did you attend school in the area?
I did. I did my undergraduate study at Coker College over in Hartsville, and finished up in '87. And from there, I went right into Y work.
What did you major in?
Physical education.
Okay, so there was
There's
some
a correlation right there.
Yes, very definitely, very definitely. You said you went right into Y work.
I did. My senior semester at Coker, I became aware of the YMCA that just started in Hartsville at that time. Coker helped out a lot getting it going, and because of the being around the YMCA, I saw it as an association that I really wanted to be involved with, and jumped right into it. There's an opportunity when I graduated to go into Y work, and jumped into it and never looked back.
That's wonderful. You said you married a local. Is your
I did.
wife with the YMCA also?
She's not with the YMCA. She's a school teacher, but I met her at the YMCA
Is that
in Hartsville.
right?
We worked together.
Back in '87.
Correct.
Golly, so 16 years. How exciting.
It is great, and I've never regretted a minute of it. It's been a very rewarding experience.
I'm sure you have it. The position when leaving Hartsville and coming over to the Florence Family YMCA, that was right after.
Correct. I was probably in Hartsville about a year and a half, and it was part-time work, working with child care, summer camp, and a full-time position became open here in Florence as a youth sports director. And I came to Florence to be to a full-time position as youth sports director, and from there they keep adding responsibility and asking me to do other things. And basically now my position here is I oversee all of the program directors here at the YMCA, as well as upkeep and maintenance of the building and facility, working with the board and volunteers and all the aspects that are needed to run the facility.
And all the hats that have been added on, a heck of a lot since you arrived 15 years ago.
That's right. From youth sports to adult sports. I've had camping programs with teens. Now I'm doing a lot of child care programming, and heading the aquatics program with the director I have there. So I've done the fitness aspect of the Y before, aerobics, started gymnastics program here. So it's been a lot of different aspects. I don't think there's a part that I haven't had some dealing with in at some time.
Yeah, I was about to ask, and obviously you were involved on the expansion aspect.
Exactly. I was fortunate enough to be able to go on the ground floor up with the expansion, as far as the first surveys being done with the people, seeing what the need was, what they were looking for with the expansion, working with all the architects and contractors throughout the building of the whole expansion. to make sure I knew the building inside and out just as well as anyone else did.
Brian, you must be so helpful to Jerry, having been here a little more than 2 years, or right at 2 years, and to think you're 15 years here. That's been a
It's a good asset for him to have, because I do know the people of the community and in this building real well.
Yes, very definitely. How about the Florence Family YMCA's operation? How does it operate?
As far as
when you think the funding, where does the funding come from?
Our programs and our membership. Basically, we are a membership organization, and all the members pay fees, yearly or monthly fees. And beyond that, all our programming, we offer those to members and non-members as well. Non-members, we call participants, also pay fees. So it's pretty much all our funding comes from the fee dues, membership dues, fees paid by participants.
Brian, how often are the programs revised by the Y, the programs that are offered?
All the programs that we have here are constantly under revision. You don't let a program sit too long or become stale. You've always got to tweak it, add new things to it, add ages, develop the program to keep up with the times and everything that's going on there with that. We have a program committee here that oversees all the programs. We're constantly surveying our participants, surveying the community, trying to find out what they're looking for in programs. By finding out what they're looking for, we can make sure that we're offering the programs that are needed in the community. That's what the YMCA does. We're a community-driven organization, so we go and make sure that what we're offering is what the community is looking for and what they need.
Can you share with us a little bit about how that program committee assesses the value of a program and what other programs might be needed in the future?
Sure. Our program committee constantly is doing surveys of participants of the community, asking questions about what they're looking for, what they need. Then they'll get back together, go through all the information that's been gathered, and from that assess whether or not a program is needed, whether we need to add a different program in a different area depending on of the community need at that time.
When you gauge potential program needs for the future, do they possibly, after the surveys are done, say we don't have the funds right now to launch this program, but we'll put this on the shelf and hopefully someday we can do it, or are they pretty immediate in their reactions?
It depends on the program and if the funds needed for the program. Some programs are easy to do, easy to get started quickly because the funds aren't as great as others are. If we feel that there's something that needs to be done quickly, we will react to it quickly. Some things do take longer time. We'll bring in more focus groups, find out more detailed access of what the people will be able to afford, or what a need is for that.
Brian, for a viewer who may visit the Florence YMCA for the first time, what do they see when they walk in the front door? And I know obviously they're walking in the expansion area, so you can share with the viewers a little bit about the distinction between that 32,000 square foot addition. But what's a viewer going to find if they're entering the Florence Family YMCA for the first time?
When they walk in the lobby the first time, they look to their right, they're going to see smiling faces ready to greet them and find out what they want. You look to the left and you're going to be looking to our 5,000 square foot cardiovascular and weight area. And it's a nice open view, and that's what impresses people most when they come in. It's open, it's friendly, it's clean. That's what people are looking for when they're coming in.
Very definitely. And as they go throughout the building, they're seeing gymnasiums, racquetball.
Gymnasiums, racquetball courts, aerobic studios, circuit equipment, an indoor and an outdoor pool. We have 4 different locker rooms serving adults and children, men and women. We have child care facility. You name it, we've got a mini gym, Tung Soo Do, which is our martial arts class that we offer, gymnastics, babysitting, playgrounds for the kids, something for everyone in the family to do.
Amazing, Brian. It is truly amazing to think through all those aspects. And of course, we just got a couple of minutes. I wanted to ask, as a United Way agency, what are some of the criteria you must meet to qualify for their support?
Sure. With being part of the United Way and being a United Way agency, and part of our goal as the YMCA is not to turn anyone away due to financial need. So we make sure that we offer financial assistance to anyone that can't afford becoming a member or program participant. We help the United Way raise funds. Some of the funds do come back to us because we are a United Way agency, and we're just making sure we're out there visible for them, that we can help them raise money so they can keep the good job they're doing serving the community.
And Brian, are board members actively involved with the Y?
It's a requirement for board members to be actively involved in fundraising, in making sure that we keep the doors open, and just using the facility in general. They are very active in all those aspects.
And you're pretty involved with other area organizations as well, oftentimes.
Correct. We do a lot of collaboratory work with county recreation, city recreation, Lawrence Soccer Association, all the groups that we get together. We try to run programs that complement each other and aren't in direct competition with each other. We try to help each other out in many different ways as we can.
Brian, lastly, what do you like best about working at the Florence Family YMCA?
Oh, I think hands down the kids are what I enjoy the most. Seeing those smiling, bright faces. I've been with the Y long enough now that I've seen kids grow up through the program and come back with their kids. And that's really rewarding. That's what I like the most.
With the Florence Family YMCA for 15 years now, with the Y family even 16 years, to think of that excitement of seeing kids' smiling faces on a daily basis. Brian Newman, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Jerry Dixon and Brian New for helping to build strong kids, strong families, and strong communities here at the Florence Family YMCA.